There's a weather guy, Steve, who's really cool. So our class invited him to our school. Steve Caporizzo's got a lot to share. We asked, hey Steve, what's the weather out there?
Will I need a jacket, shades, or a shovel?
From rain to snow, clouds to sun, Caporizzo makes it simple and fun. Want to know what your weather's gonna be? Steve's forecast is easy on your TV. Steve Caporizzo.
I'll be there.
Oh yeah, News 10.
Tonight on News 10.
Another hazing incident at a college in our region, but are frats getting a bad rap? Stay tuned.
Also, an accident closes down part of 787 in Cohoes. Coming up on weather, more spring-like weather. News 10 is next.
This is News 10 at 11.
Life is not all partying for some local fraternity brothers who find themselves in trouble with the law. Good evening, everyone. I'm Jim Brennan. Angela Hampton is off tonight. Fraternity hazing has gotten some local men into trouble. A couple of weeks ago, you may recall, 2 from Saratoga County were arrested for a hazing incident at Clarkson University that led to the death of a teenager. Well, now 2 students at North Adams State College have been arrested for a different hazing incident. Is it a isolated incident or a bad rap for fraternities? Dan Levy reports to you.
At this North Adams State College fraternity house, 2 men face criminal charges after alleged hazing incidents. Last month, a Clarkson College freshman died after a night of heavy drinking at a frat party. As damaging as each report of a hazing incident can be, most fraternity members will tell you that nothing did more to tarnish their reputation than a piece of fiction released on film 2 decades ago.
Incoming freshmen, all they think of is Animal House, John Belushi doing his thing, you know. So we try and definitely downplay that, but I mean, people are biased by that image, and they always will be, I guess, because it's such a good movie.
Zach Berndelmeyer is president of Zeta Psi fraternity at RPI. Like most fraternity members, he's quick to point out that hazing incidents are the exception, not the norm.
We're not just out there looking to have a good time. I mean, we hit the books, we play an active role in sports, we help the community out. We're big brothers, big sisters.
Tom DeSati is a freshman from Colony. He says he's looking forward to his initiation into Zeta Psi.
Still pledging, but some of my friends from other fraternities have, and they said, it's no big deal. Pretty much, I don't know. They wouldn't really tell me what they did because it's kind of like personal. It's kind of code of silence type thing, but really, they said, no big deal.
Over at Sigma Alpha Epsilon, Matt McCormick is holding down the fort while his frat brothers attend a formal. His mission tonight is to wait by the phone in case one of them needs a designated driver.
They just get that negative effect because all they ever hear about fraternities is drinking, stuff like that. Very few people know that most national fraternities have no keg laws, 0 tolerance for hazing, all that.
What we've heard from frat members is that their GPAs are above campus averages, and they're heavily involved in both campus and community activities. And they say if you were to visit a frat house in person, you'd never hear a negative thing about them again. Reporting to you from Troy, Dan Levy, News 10.
And fraternity members say the initiation ceremonies are usually positive and uplifting events, nothing like the abusive depictions seen in Animal House. Well, a man was struck and killed tonight while walking on 787 in Cohoes. Police are not saying too much about it. They do say the man was in his early 30s. He died after being transported to Samaritan Hospital. Part of 787 was closed tonight between Bridge and Tibbetts Avenues for a good part of the night while police investigated that accident. They are not releasing the victim's name until his family has been notified. An unusual accident in Albany tonight. Remarkably, no one was hurt. A truck rolled down the State Street Hill. Police say the driver of the Rent-A-Center van was parked at the Omni Hotel unloading some equipment when the truck began rolling the wrong way down State Street and wound up crashing into a planter and a tree before coming to a stop on the sidewalk. WGY Radio is pulling that controversial ad it ran in yesterday's Times-Union. The ad drew a protest from the local chapter of the NAACP, who demonstrated at WGY Studios in Albany this afternoon. The ad was meant to promote the station's 75th anniversary, but people in the black community believe the picture of an African woman doing a tribal dance is offensive. WGY program director Tom Parker says the ad will not be used again.
Well, judging by the response from the community, we're pulling the ad, and we believe that's the right thing to do.
The Times-Union has issued a statement apologizing to its readers. Publisher Timothy White writing, "We agree the ad was in poor taste. We apologize to anyone angered by running it." A mugging in Schenectady tonight has left an elderly woman with a bump on her head at least. We don't know too much at this point, but police are telling us it happened at the Annie Schaefer Senior Housing Complex in the city. They say the woman is okay. Police have made no arrests. Well, one witness says the men who botched a bank holdup today near Los Angeles were ready for war. The deadly shootout was broadcast live on California TV stations, with audiences witnessing one of the suspects being shot in the head. After the smoke settled, 2 of the men were killed, 5 bystanders and 9 police officers were wounded. Police are not sure if any of the suspects got away. 3 police officers in Hartford, Connecticut face charges after the beating of a motorist was caught on videotape. The men are accused of attacking James Wilson after he led them on a 3-mile chase. A camera inside a police cruiser recorded it all. The incident's been compared to the 1991 beating of black motorist Rodney King in L.A., the difference being Wilson is white. Last fall's riots in St. Petersburg, Florida are being blamed on poor community relations. A federal civil rights commission says 2 days of unrest stemmed from black poverty and poor treatment of blacks by police. The rioting followed a grand jury decision clearing a white police officer in the shooting death of a black teenager. Timothy McVeigh's attorney is calling a story by the Dallas Morning News irresponsible. That newspaper is reporting McVeigh confessed to his attorneys that he drove the truck in the Oklahoma City bombing. The paper says it obtained documents of courthouse interviews between McVeigh and his attorneys, but the lawyer says the documents are a hoax. A U.S. attorney says she expects a guilty plea on Monday from former CIA station chief Harold Nicholson. He's charged with selling secrets to Moscow for about $180,000. Nicholson's lawyers are not commenting on the report. The word comes the same day FBI Supervisor Earl Pitts pleaded guilty to trying to sell secrets to the Russians. A deadly earthquake in Iran has killed 100 people. Word is more than 250 others are injured in the quake. It registered 5.5 on the Richter scale and caused considerable damage. Another earthquake in Pakistan killed at least 80 people. Looks like Saturday will begin dry, but may not end that way. Chief Meteorologist Steve Caporizzo is in the Weather Center.
All righty, Jim, thank you very much. We have a split decision on the weekend forecast. It's going to feel like spring, and I think part of the time it's going to rain, I think, especially tomorrow afternoon. So if you have outdoor plans, the first half of tomorrow, I think mostly okay. Just some high clouds and a chilly start, something we haven't seen in a while, about 25. And then by noontime, the clouds will tend to thicken up. But look at the temperature, 46 degrees. And then later in the afternoon, I think anytime after 1 or 2 o'clock, some mostly light rain and temperatures in the mid-40s. That will continue into part of Sunday. But wait till you see Sunday's high temperatures. We'll have much more on the weekend forecast and later in the newscast, the official ski report for you. So stay with us, Jim.
All right, Steve, still much more to come for you on News 10 at 11. More arrests so far as police break up an Albany County chop shop. And lighting up has just gotten tougher for teenagers, but what about the people who sell tobacco?
And in sports, Class C and Double C crowned sectional champions, all the highlights from a busy local hoop night.
Reporting to you, Jim Brennan, Angela Hampton, meteorologist Steve Caporizzo, Dan Murphy on sports. Stay with us as News 10 at 11 continues. News 10 at 11 is brought to you by your local Jeep and Eagle dealers.
They may have gotten bargains, but police say those people who bought cars from a local chop shop could also get a trip to jail. The Albany County Sheriff's Department wants the buyers to come forward and turn those cars in. 4 Westerlo people were arrested for running a stolen car and chop shop operation. Investigators say the ring had been in business for 10 years, quite possibly doing millions of dollars in trade during that time. The Sheriff's Department says no one has come forward with those cars yet. Amsterdam police say they've shut down a sophisticated drug operation that was being run out of a very ordinary-looking home. A sign reading, "This drugstore closed by police," hangs on the door of 22 Kimball Street tonight. 21-year-old Jose Velasquez of New York City is charged with felony drug possession. He's accused of running a drop-box-style operation where customers would put an order in a slot and the drugs would drop out. A nationwide crackdown on tobacco sales kicked into high gear today. The new rules require retailers check IDs of anyone under 27 years old buying tobacco products. After one violation, stores would be fined $250. But what about the clerks who sell those cigarettes and are responsible for carrying out the regulations? Robin Schwartz reports to you.
Smile. There we go. Yvette Perkins is as nice about it as she can be. But this clerk at the A+ on Knott Terrace in Schenectady says carding people who buy tobacco products can be a hassle.
Well, when we ask them for IDs, they're like, well, I'm 21. I said, you have to prove it to me. And then they just like storm out. They call us names and stuff. We just blow them off.
She says it does make her job harder, especially when things get busy, but she knows it's the law. Will other clerks take checking IDs as seriously? Customers say yes and no.
It depends on the individual that's working, you know? I mean, some people, they're kind of lax about it, and some people are really strict about it.
And I would strongly encourage that you train all your clerks.
It's Jack Parisi's job to make sure stores uphold the law. He's with the Schenectady County Health Department, which holds training sessions like this one to let store owners know they're watching.
Every type of store, such as a gas station, a small neighborhood store, or a large chain, or a drugstore, we have caught those types of stores selling to minors.
And he says even stores that have great training programs sometimes slip up. The big chain stores like Shop and Save have to keep track of dozens of clerks to make sure that they're checking IDs. But they say it's just another part of doing business.
Well, hopefully we train them properly. And that's all we can hope for.
And all officials can hope for is that this stops some young people from lighting up. Reporting to you, Robin Schwartz, News 10.
And in addition to federal law, all 50 states have their own laws prohibiting tobacco sales to anyone under age 18. But minors still manage to buy more than $1.6 billion worth of those products every year. Massachusetts Senator John Kerry was busy in Berkshire County today. First stop was breakfast at the Elm Street Luncheonette in Pittsfield. Then Kerry traveled up to Dalton, Mass. and Crane & Company. That company makes the paper for U.S. currency, and the Treasury Department wants to make it easier for other companies to compete with Crane.
I can't think of anything crazier, and I think, unfortunately, that some people down in Washington seem to have lost their senses. We don't want taxpayer dollars being given to a foreign company in order to take the jobs of people here.
Kerry and Senator Ted Kennedy have filed legislation to keep the government from awarding contracts that create unfair competition. In Money News, it looks like Ford is clipping the wings of its T-Bird. The Wall Street Journal reporting for the first time in 42 years, Ford will not have a Thunderbird rolling off its production lines in 1998. The reason? Poor sales. On Wall Street, the Dow Jones took a tumble again today, falling 47 points and falling below the 6,900 level. The Dow lost 54 points for the week. When we come back, Steve's got the weekend forecast.
I'm Ted Koppel. Coming up on Nightline, if beauty is only skin deep, how deep is our prejudice? America's dirty little secret. America in black and white tonight.
News 10 at 11 is brought to you by your local Dodge dealers. Now, meteorologist Steve Caporizzo with News 10 Doppler weather.
First day of the new month tomorrow, and it will be warmer.
It's, you're right, warmer temperatures. It's amazing that we're into March now. February is pretty easy.
This is the month in which springtime arrives.
Well, it's supposed to. But it also, we can get big snowstorms in March. We know that.
We know that, yes.
But the snow in March usually melts fairly quickly.
Within a day or two.
Within a couple of days, at least on the roadways. Let's check on the Albany County Airport right now. We have clear skies. And something that I'll tell you, we haven't seen in a while, it's kind of cold outside. It's not bad, but compared to recent nights, it's at 27 at the Albany County Airport. Humidity 88% with a barometer 30.42 and steady. The winds are calm. No rain today. High temperature this afternoon above normal at 43. The low, the present reading of 27. Record high 63 in 1903. And our record low temperature minus 10, 1950. Tonight we have mostly clear skies throughout the entire Northeast. Some clouds off the coast as the storm system departs in that direction. And this is the next installment of clouds. Watch these clouds increase through Ohio in parts of western Pennsylvania. I think they'll get in here sometime around 7, 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. 27 at Messina, 23 at Watertown. New York City, the warm spot tonight at 44. As you head off to the west, 26 in Rochester and 31 right now at Buffalo. Again, most everybody has clear skies and light winds. News 10 Weather Watch is reporting in tonight. Pat Kerwin in Greenville at 20, 23 en route to Corinth, 25. I met Zachary at the home show tonight up in Saratoga Springs. 22 in Newcomb. Rutland, 27. Kathy Stafford in Greenwich down to 20. and clear skies and 27 degrees in western Massachusetts over there in the city of Pittsfield. So again, quiet and relatively speaking, a chilly night. Here's the next weather system moving out of the high plains. This storm, like we've seen all season long, and this has been unusual, will track east and then take that track up through the Great Lakes, dragging, I think, increasingly moist and warmer air towards New York and New England. This is mostly rain, heavy rain in the southeast, still some snow, parts of Minnesota up to 4 or 5 inches of wet snow, and also northern Wisconsin. That rain will be arriving, I think, early tomorrow afternoon. So if you have outdoor plans tomorrow, maybe you're going to hit the ski slopes. Tomorrow morning will be okay for most of us. Rain arriving around noontime, early afternoon. And Sunday's a tricky forecast. I got to be honest with you. We got two computers here. One says it's going to be breezy, mild, nothing more than a few showers with temperatures up near 60. The other computer takes this front, sags it down over us and slows it down, and we're going to have bands of heavier rain come up. So I'm not convinced one way or another. What I do know will be very mild, at least in the 50s, and plan on at least some showers with the possibility of maybe a little more significant rain. But overall, it's not going to be a wintry weekend for the first weekend of March. There's no doubt about that. Unusual. All right, forecast looks like this. For overnight, mostly clear, chilly weather, 18 to 25. Now, if you're an early bird tomorrow morning, 6, 7 o'clock, you may have a couple of hours of sunshine. Then clouding up, some rain, light rain for the afternoon, 42 to 47 with the southeast wind 10 to 20 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, light rain, drizzle, some fog, and mild temperatures holding in the 40s. In fact, they're probably going to rise somewhat. And on Sunday, clouds and warm. If we're lucky, a few breaks of sun, still showers. Look at these temperatures, 55 to 60. It may turn a little bit colder late Sunday afternoon. Vermont and the Berkshires, mostly clear, chilly tonight, 17 to 23. And for tomorrow, some early morning sunshine, then some light rain for the afternoon, mild, 40 to 45. And in your 5-day forecast, if you're looking for wintertime, you know what? We just don't see it. 45, partly sunny on Monday, chance at more rain for Tuesday afternoon, and 47. And Wednesday, partly sunny and 40. So temperatures for at least the next 5 days will be well above normal again. Saving money on the heating bills, no doubt about that.
Anyway, you know.
Any way you can do it. And later in the newscast, even though it's going to be a warm weekend, we'll have the latest ski conditions for you. It's not all that bad considering the weather.
Good. We'll check back with you in just a bit. Head in sports, 2 high school sectional titles online at the Glens Falls Civic Center tonight, and the St. Rose women trying to remain golden this season. John Spadafora in for Dan Murphy next.
News 10 at 11 is brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Next, John Spadafora with News 10 Sports at 11.
Some sectional basketball titles up for grabs tonight.
And parity has reached the boys basketball high school. I mean, it's crazy. You never know who's going to win. The high school boys basketball tournament has been filled with upsets. In fact, only one #1 seed is still playing. Class C is a perfect example of the surprises. Third-seeded Hoosick Valley took on #4 Galway for the title at Glens Falls. Mechanicville led for most of the game. He had 15 points. That's Matt DeVoe. But Hoosick Valley goes on a second-half run. Dave Thurber with a rebound and putback and the foul. He had 13. Huge second half for MVP Craig Persons. He had all of his 16 points after the break. Hoosick Valley is the Class C champion, 59 to 42. The final there. In the nightcap, Watervliet and Galway met for the Class CC championship first half. Greg Krikorian with a nice feed to Kevin Yanni, who lays it in for 2 of his 25 points. Krikorian was named the MVP. He had 12 points. Watervliet led this one pretty much start to finish. They win the CC title 59 to 48. We can't tell you who won the girls Class A or D final. They couldn't find the time to call us. To college hoop, the Siena women are the 3rd seed in the MAC tournament, but the Lady Saints got a serious scare from #6 Iona. The Siena Saints survived, beating the Lady Gales for the 3rd time this season. Siena saw a 9-point halftime lead evaporate, but they finished strong. Carrie Drummond hits the 3. She had 18 points. The Lady Saints hit 10 triples, a MAC tournament record. Nice game for freshman Melanda Miklick. The Burnt Hills native came off the bench and made some big plays. Siena takes it 66-62. They'll face Niagara tomorrow.
I'm really happy with our outcome and our win, and I think the girls did a great job just to withstand some of the pressure that we had today.
The Siena men get underway tomorrow night. The 7th-seeded Saints face Canisius at 7 o'clock. Siena is playing their best ball of the season, and they beat the Golden Griffs just 2 weeks ago.
We have some matchups that are more favorable as compared to some of our other opponents, but it's going to be a heck of an environment for us to play, and we got to be ready to play for 40 minutes.
The College of St. Rose men and women are fighting for the New York Collegiate Athletic Conference title. The ladies are ranked second in the country. They battled Southampton in the semifinals tonight. Second half, great ball movement on the break by the Lady Knights. Carrie Griffith gets it back and finishes for 2 of her 19 points. Then Evia Azase gets the hoop and the foul down low. She chipped in with 18 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 block shots. Make it 28-0 on the season. St. Rose rolls 96-49. They'll face Pace in the final. The St. Rose men were looking for a spot in the finals. They battled Queens College for that right. First half, Ralph Bucci drives to the hole and lays it in. St. Rose up 4. Bucci led the way with 17 points. The Golden Knights did most of their work from the outside. Roger Powers drills a 3. 1 of 4 on the night for him. St. Rose is on to the final with a 94-54 win. They'll face Adelphi for the title. It's a big weekend for the RPI and Union College hockey teams. Both are fighting for home ice advantage in the ECAC playoffs. The Engineers are tied for 3rd. The Dutchmen share 5th place. The top 4 teams get home ice, so both clubs on the road needing wins, and neither one could get it. RPI loses to 11th place Yale. The Engineers fall into a 4th place tie, and Union loses to Princeton 3-2. That puts them in a 6th place tie. Let's jump over to the NBA. The New York Knicks are wrapping up a 6-game road trip in Denver. First half, John Wallace got a little playing time. He throws it down. Knicks up 2. Fourth quarter, John Starks will drill the big-time 3. New York was up 6, seemingly cruising to victory, but here comes Denver. Goldwire drives to the hole for 2. Right now, they have just headed into overtime, tied at 95. Elsewhere, Grant Hill had a triple-double in the Pistons win. Golden State beat New Jersey. Seattle edged Miami by a point, and Chicago all over Sacramento, bouncing back from that loss to Cleveland last night. NASCAR news, rain wiped out qualifying for Sunday's Pontiac 400. Well, it may only be February, but the boys of summer are back in action. The world champion New York Yankees hosted the St. Louis Cardinals in a spring training game, their first of the season, and boy, did it look like it at times. Tim Raines boots the fly ball. Newcomer Mark Whitten gets a hold of one here. A solo shot to left field to tie the game at 1. The Yankees had the offense cranking this afternoon. Cecil Fielder lines a P over the left field wall. That's a 3-run shot. The Yankees win it 7-3 the final. Unbelievable watching baseball, isn't it?
Cecil keeps doing that. He's not going to get his trade wish.
Yeah, he will re-sign.
All right. Thanks, Pad. We've got the lottery numbers coming your way in just a second, and surfing with the Royals when we get back as the Queen goes high-tech.
Whether you're looking for lottery numbers or the very latest news, join us Saturday nights as well. This is Sue Nigra. I'll be here tomorrow, and I hope to see you then for News 10 at 6 and 11.
Nighttime, daytime, anytime. News 10's quick response team is ready all the time. Call our newsroom hotline, 462-WTEN. And cell calls are free calls. Bell Atlantic NYNEX customers press pound 10. Cellular One customers press star 10. The station that reports to you wants to hear from you.
And welcome back, everyone. I know a lot of you may be planning on hitting the ski slopes. It may be wet, but there's still a lot of snow. Here's this week's ski report. Eckore Mountain, 33 trails and 7 lifts. Luke's Granule up to a 65-inch base. Whiteface, 48 and 7. Wet, but not too shabby. Kind of spring skiing this weekend. Hunter Mountain, 50 trails, 13 lifts. Wet Granule, look at that base where they piled up the snow, 142 inches. Jay Peak, 61 and 7. Loose Granule. At Bromley, 30 trails, 6 lifts. It's wet, but it's not too bad. And at Busquets in the Berkshires, 13 trails, 3 lifts with wet conditions. Don't forget, for you cross-country skiers, that we do have some decent conditions at Garnet Hill.